Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Kevin Griffith, and this is the Holler Barbecue. Today, we're going to continue on that holiday journey as we head into Thanksgiving. We're going to fire up the Silverback, and we're doing some smoked turkey. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode, guys. It is exactly 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, so it's time for us to start talking smoked turkey. Now, I'm going to do mine a little bit different than maybe what you've been seeing online so far. So instead of doing a wet brine, we're going to dry brine it. And what that is we're just going to salt this thing up, put it in the refrigerator, and it does just as good a job, if not better, than wet brining. Now, the whole science behind this is you put the salt on the outside of the turkey, we're going to put it on the skin, we're going to put it under the skin, and what that does is that draws moisture up to the top of the surface. And then once that moisture hits the salt, it basically melts the salt. And after that, everything is reabsorbed back into the turkey, drawing that salt deep inside the turkey. At the same time, giving you a juicy texture. And also, we're going to be letting this thing just sit in the refrigerator uncovered, which is going to dry your skin out, which in return, once you smoke it and we hit a little bit higher temperatures, you're going to get that perfect crisp skin. And I know a lot of people have been asking how to get their turkeys crisp. This is going to do it. So the salt that I'm going to be using today is Jacobsen's Salt Company. This is a company up here in Oregon. Now, if you have not used this salt, guys, go check them out. It is some of the best salt that I've ever used. You know, people go, oh, salt is salt. No, wrong. Let me show you this. So this stuff is made in Netarts Bay here in Oregon. They pull it directly out of the ocean. You can see how big some of these crystals are. Really excellent stuff. The turkey I got, this is a butterball, all natural. Let's see if I can get it up here. It weighs 13.47 pounds. Now, I'm not a big fan of doing huge turkeys. I would rather do a couple small ones as opposed to just one big one. That way your flavor is going to be, I think it's going to be a lot better on a smaller turkey. Now this one I got on sale for $1.19 at a grocery store called Safeway here. Now I'm going to take this out of its wrap here. And let me show you what we're going to be setting it on, and it's going to go in the refrigerator. So I just have a regular, basically a cookie sheet pan, and then a cooling rack that I'm going to sit in here, and the turkey is going to go on top of it. That way we have airflow coming through the bottom. All right, so for this turkey to get it ready, took it out of the bag, cleaned it up a little bit on the back end, and on the front end, just some of that excess hanging skin. I rinsed it off, and then patted it dry with a paper towel. So to start our dry brine process, I showed you I had that Jacobsen salt. What I have here is, for this bird, so 13.5 pounds, I got 6 tablespoons. That's right around what you need. I'm going to start by separating the skin from the breast and as much anywhere else I can, and we're going to put salt directly under the skin. So to do that, just take your fingers, just start working your way. All right, now that I got the skin somewhat separated, I'm just gonna start taking some salt, and we're gonna rub it inside. Now you're not looking to over salted or anything like that. You don't need to see the salt just caked on. I'm actually gonna have folded the skin back on some of the legs here. Just get that in also. And once you get that all done, now we're gonna do the skin itself. And I'm gonna flip them over and do the back side also. Alright, and that's all there is to the dry brining process. So now he's gonna go in the refrigerator and gonna sit uncovered just like this. For me, this is gonna be at least 24 hours out from the cook. Do at least a minimum of 12 hours. You can go up to, I think I've read at least up to two days you could go to if you wanted to. I'm gonna pop this in the refrigerator and we'll let it sit for about 24 hours. All right, for our seasoned butter, I have 1 stick of softened butter, and we're gonna be adding this American Royale chicken rub caveman cuisine to it. So just get your butter stirred up real good. Go ahead and start adding some of your seasoning. And there's no correct amount here, no worried about measuring. Just put whatever you like in it and stir it up really good. And then you're gonna wanna dump it onto just some parchment paper. Now, the goal here is to try to create a log. I like to just roll it back and forth with the parchment paper until I have basically the log that I'm looking for. And then finally, just go ahead and wrap it up into the parchment paper, because we're gonna set it in the refrigerator overnight to let it set back up. Alright guys, it's been 24 hours since our turkey started taking its dry salt brine. As you can see from the turkey, all the salt is gone. There might be a few crystals left, not much. But that's what it does, right? It melts and then it's supposed to reabsorb that juice. So this is what makes it so good, is I don't have no big bucket of brine to be messing with. First of all, I don't have enough room in my refrigerator to do that. So this makes it really, really good for me. So now it's time for us to start adding layers of flavor. To get this turkey ready, the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna start taking some of that seasoned butter that we made yesterday. And this is gonna go right up under the skin. This is how we're gonna season our skin, or season our meat under the skin. At the same time, this is gonna help baste the turkey also. All right, the next layer of flavor we're gonna add is we're gonna inject this thing. I have some of this Cajun injector Creole butter. I got this at Sportsman's Warehouse. It actually came with the injection, the injector, and a bottle of their seasoning, which I'm not using on this one. It's got a little bit of spice to it, and I'm not trying to add too much to it. All right, now that we got it injected, it's time for our last layer of flavor. And that's basically our rub, the same rub that we made the butter with. We're gonna put that on the outside now. With an addition to, I'm gonna add just a bit of Hungarian style paprika. This is gonna help give it a really good color. Just enough to give it a really good color. So we got all kind of flavor going on in this turkey. And let's don't forget about turning it over and getting the backside. So one thing I didn't mention about the dry brine was when it came out of the refrigerator, I had it sitting out for about an hour. Also, I did not rinse it off. So we worked hard to kind of dry the skin out so that we get extra crispy skin when it cooks. So you don't really want to wash it off because most of the salt's already gone and absorbed back in the meat anyway. So the last thing I'm gonna do, if you can see my skin kind of ripped right here, so I'm gonna I want to try to help this thing hold together a little bit. So I'm gonna actually just tie the legs together with some twine. All right, now this guy's all ready for the smoker. So I'm just gonna let it hang out here on the counter until the silverback's ready to go. Once that happens, I'll meet you outside. Let's fire the silverback up to 275 degrees. We'll be cooking until internal breast temperature is about 165 degrees. And for pellets, I'm using my pecan, hickory, and cherry mixture that I use on just about all my cooks now. And what we want to do is put this turkey about in the center of this thing. For any of you looking for the silverback of how much room it's got, you can see I could easily fit one more, maybe two more turkeys in this thing. We're going to keep a watch on this cook with Grilleye, which is a Bluetooth thermometer that we can keep track of our temperatures on a smart device. I'll be using the iPad today. So I'm going to be using one probe to actually measure to keep track of the temperature of the smoker itself. And then we will be putting one directly into the thick part of the breast here to watch the temperature of the turkey. Now I want to go ahead and set an alarm on the Grilleye, so in case I get to doing other stuff, I don't forget. So they have a turkey preset, already sets it to 165 degrees, and once it hits that, it'll give you a notification. Alright, we're sitting just a little bit over 2 hours so far that this thing's been on. So I want to go ahead and we're going to look at it, but first let's show you. So we're at 151 degrees right now. Inside the smoker's at 288. So let's go ahead and look at it, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to finish it off. Alright, it's looking really good, but we do still have about 15 more degrees to go. And the skin is starting to firm up pretty good. So what we're going to do, get it closed back up, what we're going to do to really bring up that crisp in the skin now is I'm going to go ahead and crank this thing up to 350 degrees. Alright guys, we're sitting at 162 degrees right now. Now remember, when you take these things off, they are going to have some carryover. So we're shooting for 165 in the breast on this thing. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull it right now, because I know there's going to be different spots on it that's already past 165. So we're up to 163 now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it inside, and I'm going to tin it with some aluminum foil for maybe 15-20 minutes. Now this was a 2-hour and 45-minute cook. Now it might take more time, might take less time on your cooker. Don't go by time though. Make sure we always temp it and go straight to the temperature you're looking for. That way you'll have a perfect bird every time. Alright guys, so here's our finished product for our smoked turkey. I've had it sitting about 15 minutes, just letting some of those juices get back to where they need to be. So let's go ahead and cut into this thing and see what we got. I'm actually going to get this wing off of here and out of the way, so you can get a better view. Alright, it's still definitely plenty of juicy. Let me give it a taste. Remember, the salt brine was really easy to do. Didn't have to worry about no big buckets of liquid or anything like that. That's it, guys. This is the smoked turkey for Thanksgiving. As always, if you got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And always, holler back.